I can always cut it down. I'm not gonna mute anybody until other people get on, like that we don't really know.
Is Rebecca part of your team?
Yes.
Awesome.
What?
I said, is Rebecca part of your team?
Oh, yes.
Cool. Hey, Rebecca.
Can she hear?
I don't know. I don't know if we can.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Oh.
Okay, we need people on that aren't all our coaches, but you know, we're gonna give everybody a minute.
Yeah, give me a minute. I'm gonna try and reload my computer. It's reloading, so I'm gonna see if I can get on that way because I was gonna use my phone as the timer.
Okay, so this is hilarious. So I did my live, and I didn't, and I think people thought I was just having a happy hour, not coaches and happy hour. They're like, oh, I would totally, like somebody who would never do the business, like ever. And she's like, oh, totally would have joined, ask me next time. Like, can't make it tonight, ask me next time.
Summer.
Destiny, hello. As you're popping on, find the chat box on the bottom of your screen and tell us what you're drinking tonight and where you're from or who invited you. How about that? Who invited you?
I'm leaving this.
Who invited you to the call on the chat box and what you're drinking.
Oh, Destiny is on here. Awesome.
She was. She went away. Where'd she go?
Oh.
It's probably you, Michelle, because you have headphones in. I'm going to turn it down. Don't worry. I just
Hello.
having a little party before everybody got here.
Yes.
Ow! Hi.
Yeah. As you pop on, find the chat box and tell us where you're from, who invited you, and what you're drinking.
Where's the chat box?
So on the bottom, so go to the bottom of your screen. Well, are you on your phone?
Yeah.
There might
Are you
be.
done for now, Mia?
You should be able to find the chat. I don't know on the phone. Do you know, Keitha? Are you on your phone?
I'm looking on my phone. Sorry, I'm trying to connect on my computer too. I know there's a way.
Yeah, I kind of looking too.
Y'all got dressed up. Kelly, you got all dressed up.
I did. Hey, I had to do something. I mean, like, I had to be able to dress up for something. Wear my clothes.
Girl, all I do is take my hoodie off, okay?
But you're just joining. I'm hosting. Like, we all showered and I put makeup on. I'm the host of this thing. So, okay, I forgot to tell where I'm from. I'm drinking White Claw. White Claw and Camas. I invited myself. Okay, so I'm gonna wait till about 7:35, and then we are gonna get right into it because it's Friday night, and I mean, not that we don't want to be here, but we have so many other things to do. And then I will turn off the music when we start, don't worry, and I will also mute everybody. And you can't hear any of it. Can anybody else hear me, or you just hear the music?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
I don't know. I don't know why you can only hear the music, Michelle. But
I just got it.
okay, perfect. Okay, we got about a minute, and then we're.
Hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
Oh, my bad.
I think I might be able to get on.
Where's everybody's cocktail? I know, Susie, you don't drink. Have your mocktail?
I'm a cheap date.
That's right. We're all cheap dates right now. Shoot.
It's true.
I'm cheaper than all of you,
We're
okay? I
saving so
smell
much
it and I'm
money right
buzzed.
now. Actually, we're gonna have to grab a glass of water, Susie, so we can get a cheersy picture.
This
All
is
right.
it.
Keisha, are you ready or what?
Give me 2 seconds.
You said
I'm
that
trying
before.
to join on my, just keep dancing.
Who's this? Who just joined? I can't see it. Melanie. Hi, Melanie.
Hi.
As you pop in the chat box on the bottom, unless you're on your phone. I don't know where the chat box is if you're on your phone. But there should be a chat box where you can enter what you're drinking and who invited you.
Oh shoot. Okay, I better go grab a drink real quick.
It's cocktails and coaching.
Just kidding.
I know. Well, we had an Xbox malfunction, so
Oh no.
busy on
Deep
that.
Eddie's cranberry. Oh my god, I love Deep Eddie. But Deep Eddie grapefruit is my fave. Okay, Keisha, are you ready yet?
Can you see me twice?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I can see you twice and you're echoing. So, all right, I'm gonna stop the beats. Stop the beats. We're gonna. Okay. Everybody. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and mute everybody, and we are going to get started. How do I mute everybody? I thought I could do it.
Host mute.
Where does it say that? Oh, manage participant. Sorry. There we go. Mute all. Okay. Continue, except for me, and then Lisa and Keisha will unmute themselves. So happy Friday, ladies. I am so excited for you all to be here. We are so excited. We were all three just talking and we were like, we're shaking. We feel like we're going to vomit or like what, we don't know why we're so nervous, but I think the reason that we're so nervous is because we are so passionate about what we do. And we just want to portray that to you guys tonight in a real authentic way. And so kind of how the night's going to go, each of us are going to share our story, kind of how we got into the business and what it's done for us and you know how our lives have been impacted from this thing called coaching, and maybe answer some of the misconceptions that people have about what a Beachbody coach is or what a health and fitness mentor looks like. And so if you haven't found the chat box, if it's on your phone, I'm not exactly sure where to look for it, but if you're on your computer, it should be at the bottom. There's a place that says chat. As you pop in, please let us know what you're drinking, where you're from, and maybe who invited you tonight to this coaching or cocktails and coaching. And then we're gonna leave a little bit of time at the end after we all tell our stories for questions, because as we talk, things might come up for you, and you don't have to wait till the end to type in your question. Type it right in the box and we'll be looking at those as we go. So Keisha is going to start us off and tell us her story, and take it away, Keisha. I'm gonna mute myself so because otherwise I might just start talking to you.
I know you will. Okay. So I'm Keisha, for those of you that don't know me. I have been a Beachbody coach for 2 years. I had to actually go back and check right before this call to see how long it's actually been. So 2 years, just a little bit about me. I'm a mom. I'm a bonus mom. I'm a wife. I work full-time as a paralegal. And when, I'm not social distancing, I usually have like a 12-hour day because I have a long commute into work. But I want to keep it short and sweet, and I am a little nervous here. But I want to condense my story down so you have time to hear Kelly and Lisa as well. So I got into Beachbody for extra accountability. That's why I decided to become a coach. I was a yo-yo gym goer. So I was the girl that would sign up for a gym membership, go to the gym for a little while, life would happen, kids stuff, whatever, and then I just let it go. And this was constant. I did CrossFit, you name the gym, I did it. And I actually had Beachbody on demand for like almost a year. I had seen it online, signed up for it, never used it. And then I had started to see a program that was coming out, and it was getting released at the beginning of a year. So I was like, okay, this is it. This is the year that I am going to go all in, and it's going to be the healthiest year of my life. Now, I had made that commitment before several times and had always quit. So I signed up as a coach, one, I started researching. I'm a researcher. I have legal background, so I started researching, and I knew that if I signed up as a coach, I got a discount. And I am the bargain shopper also. So I knew at the very least I was going to sign up as for the discount only. But I was also curious about the coaching opportunity. I had been following people on social media. They were coaching. I was a huge skeptic, didn't believe in it, had never tried the actual products other than the workouts, and just wasn't quite sure about it. So add into that, my husband, for a few years when the kids hit high school, he's like, what are you going to do with your life when the kids leave? Like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I have no idea. I have no hobbies. I was the PTA mom who was always, involved in the academics and the extracurricular, and I had no idea what I was going to do. So I had all this curiosity, but I wasn't quite sure if I believed in the business or the products other than the workouts. So I reached out to Kelly. I didn't know Kelly. She didn't know who I was. I used to work with her husband at a previous law firm, and I literally just dropped in her Facebook Messenger, and she had no idea who I was. And so wanted to learn a little bit more about this coaching thing. So talked with her for a little bit. I still wasn't all the way in, but I was like, why not? Like, you're going to be using the products anyway. You're already committed that you're going to go all in, follow the program to a T, use the products, see where it gets you. And if I can make an extra $500 on the side, like, what do I have to lose? I have nothing to lose. So I said, all right, sign me up. But here's the deal, Kelly. I am not doing social media. Like, it's not happening. And she was like, all right, whatever. And now I'm on IG every single day, sharing my story, posting. I didn't have IG when I signed up. I had Facebook, but I wasn't a regular poster on it. I had very few friends. It was mainly close friends and family. So moral of the story is never say never, because I never thought that I would be out there publicly sharing my story for everybody to see. So let's see. Also, I didn't really, before Beachbody, like, I never got into this thinking that I was going to develop friendships from it. But I also knew that I didn't have a lot of women connections, even though I was super active in PTA and all that stuff. I never really connected with the women. Very few of them did I connect with. It felt very high schoolish and cliquish to me. So I didn't really have that strong community where I was. I had great friends from high school, but that was really the closest friendships that I had at the time. So I went all in with 80 Day Obsession was the program that I started with. And fairly soon into the workouts and the program, I had lost my grandma. And in the past, that would have been something that would have totally derailed me from my fitness. I would have never gotten back into it. And that year was a year of a lot of loss. And because I had established the habits and I had leaned into this community and built friendships around it, I can say that since signing up as a coach, I have worked out consistently for 2 years now, every week, 4 to 7 times a week. That has never happened before. And some of my strongest connections have come from this community. I didn't believe in internet friends. I used to make fun of my kids and say, don't talk to strangers on the internet. Like, don't do it. And here I am making friendships with women that I would have never met. And I've traveled the world. Within my first year of coaching, I earned my first trip. And Kelly and I went to the Caribbean on a cruise, like 2 things I never would have thought that I would have done. I just qualified and earned my 3rd trip. So I'm super excited about that. So I'm traveling more, And it's either through the Beachbody, from a Beachbody trip, or I have that extra income to be able to go on more trips. So like last year, I took 4 trips in 1 year, and it was either something that I earned through Beachbody or from the income from Beachbody that helped me go on those trips. I have never been more connected to my health and fitness. Let's see, I have paid off debt. I am able to now just take my money that I earned from Beachbody and I can just put it into savings. And so I'm building my savings up, and I can give more when I see a need. I'm more able to give freely because I don't have to worry so much. It's just given me a lot of freedom. Let's see. I was going to time myself, so I don't know where I'm at on time, but I will say, even all these things that it's given me a purpose. It's given me something to do, to focus on. It's taught me to learn how to lean into myself and into a community. Because let's face it, life is hard. Life is really hard right now for a lot of people. And I don't know where I would be had I not started this journey 2 years ago, how I would be dealing with life as it is now. And I've learned to make myself a priority so that I am a better mom, so that I'm a better wife, I'm a better employee, and I can lean in and lead by example for the women that join me, either on my team or in my community that I am leading on their health and fitness journey. So really, I just decided to take a leap of faith in myself. And I keep looking to the corner of my, because you guys are all over here, so I don't know if I should probably be looking over here, but ultimately it has impacted my life so much. But I will never forget I'm going to cry, sorry. The first text I got from a lady that she was an old friend I hadn't connected with in years. And she decided to join me as a challenger. And the first time somebody reaches out to you and says, oh my gosh, thank you so much for this opportunity. You have completely changed my life. You won't forget it. And you will just want to continue to pay that forward. So as much as it's impacted my life, the biggest thing that I think that I get as a coach is being able to pay it forward and impact other people's lives and know that you are truly, absolutely making a difference. And so with that, before I start shedding tears, I'm going to hand it over to Lisa and take a drink.
Good. Okay. Okay, like cheers. Let's cheers if you can hear Lisa. Yeah. I can't hear you, but you can hear me. All right. Okay, so that was awesome. I will never ever get tired of hearing coach journey stories like this. Like, it is what fuels my fire, because even though we have different experiences and stuff, like we all can like relate to so much of that. So thank you, Kisa. I'm also really nervous. Okay, so I did a presentation for my day job work last year, and there was like 100+ people in there. I am 10 times nervous tonight. I don't know why. But thank you for being here, guys. Gosh, you're so great. And I think we're all great for living through this pandemic like we are. Okay, so I could probably talk for days about my journey, but I will try to condense this. I was sitting here thinking about what I wanted to how I wanted to share with you, and two kind of big things just kept kind of sticking out for me that sort of have been a catalyst for my journey with Beachbody and coaching. And one of them is kind of is on the financial side. So, you know, we grew up and we had, you know, we did okay, we were fine, but my parents were definitely under a lot of financial stress constantly, year after year, like it never got better. And I think I really carried that burden sometimes, and then you know, as anything that you do for a long time, it becomes a habit. And so it's always just kind of been this like financial cloud over me. And then another thing is my body image. And I've always been like, definitely not the skinny girl. I've always been a little bit overweight, sometimes a lot overweight, and never really learned the tools to make any of that like a lifestyle. Like Kisa said, like I yo-yo diet all the time. I was always looking for like the next best thing that would just like get me those results right now. And so that's a big struggle, and still is for me. Anyway, so I was kind of always taught that, you know, just go to college, graduate, get a good job, and you'll be set. And so I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do, because I want this financial cloud out of, you know, away. Like I don't want to be under this financial stress forever. And so I worked 1 to 3 jobs during college, graduated. In that time, I got married, and we had 2 kids. And so we kind of just started living our lives. And it was about 2015, I saw my very first like infomercial on Beachbody, and it was 21 Day Fix. And I was like, okay, well, that doesn't look too terrible. So I signed up for that. But honestly, I lasted like 2 weeks and didn't really like commit to it 100%. And so anyway, sorry. So anyway, life goes on, you know, we're raising babies, and my husband and I's relationship, it kind of, I always just assumed that it was gonna start getting better and better and better, and we were gonna grow together, and it really started to suffer. So kind of fast forward like 2 years later, 2017, our kids were both under 5 or 5 and under. We were doing okay financially, but there was still pressure. There was still, you know, the big trip to Disneyland that we really couldn't afford. And our relationship was not doing well. I was at my heaviest weight also, and I was pretty much just drinking myself through a lot of like the stuff that I couldn't or wouldn't deal with emotionally, mentally. And I had had enough. So in January 2017, I kind of had like that couple years ago, like 21 Day Fix in the back of my head. And I was like, okay, I have to be at home with my kids. So I can't be going to a gym, and I don't mind at-home workouts, so I'm gonna give this a shot. So I found a coach, I signed up, I did exactly what she told me to do, and lo and behold, it worked. Weird, right? But it was awesome. I started meal prepping around that time too, and haven't stopped since. I was getting a lot of momentum. I mean, I didn't change overnight, but I was losing weight. I was feeling good. You know, I was feeling better about myself and kind of like the possibilities of what I could do for my future. And so that was like all good. I was hooked on the products for sure. And it was around that time too where I was just like, I didn't know how to fix my marriage. I didn't know how to be a more patient mom or a better friend or sister or cousin. I didn't know how to fix a lot of things in my life that were going wrong, I felt like. I didn't know how to fix my, you know, income situation, but I did know that I had complete control over if I got up early and worked out, or the food and drinks that I put in my body. So that was how, that's kind of how I started, and how I just, like I said, I got kind of hooked, and I was like, I'm never letting this Beachbody On Demand go. Like, this is my jam. All right, so then, it's a lot. It's emotional, right? Like, okay, so I like lost some weight, but I was still on my weight loss journey for sure. And in 2018, my husband and I ended up separating. And then by the time 2018 ended, our divorce was official. And so I'm sitting there and I am feeling like a complete failure. You know, I feel like I have done everything right in my life, and this is where it's gotten me. And it was really hard pill to swallow. I was overwhelmed with guilt and shame and fear, mostly the financial fear. That cloud, that financial stress cloud was over my head, and it was like pouring on me because now I was the only person that was making money in my house. And I did not know if I would ever be able to take my kids to Disneyland or, you know, be able to go to the store and tell them, nope, like we can't afford that. So it was not the life that I wanted to give my kids or myself. So I knew I had to supplement my income somehow and needed like an extra revenue stream. And so I was this close to going back to bartending because I was good at it and it was quick money. And I just thought, you know, I can't be around all those unhealthy people and all those unhealthy habits anymore, because I'm very much a sponge of my environment. So you put me around unhealthy people, I'm going to be unhealthy. If you put me around people who are building their business and doing and making their dreams happen, that is what I'm going to do. So I had been watching coaches on Instagram, and I never really thought that I never really thought I could be that, you know. I just thought that they had this different life and that was for them, but like I had to have a different life. You know, I was now a single mom and I worked a day job, and like I had certain things lined up, and that was my life. And I don't know, I think I heard a story, I don't honestly remember. It was probably a few different stories, kind of like this, where you get to hear about people, the before and after. And I was just like, okay, actually, you know, if she couldn't do that and come up from that, I can do that. I can do this. So I took this giant leap, and in January 2019, my birthday's in January, so I gifted myself this. I switched from customer to coach and just decided to give it a shot and not really knowing what the hell was going to happen. So I just knew that like I needed to make sure that my workouts were consistent and I could develop like a better nutrition lifestyle, because that is what gave me like the fuel in my fire every day to kind of just keep going and make my other dreams come true, like my career goals and just my, you know, just being joyful and happy and having good relationships. So, you know, I had no idea how I was going to afford the shake because my coach told me, you know, like you have to use the products. And I liked Shakeology. I had it like in the past when I had signed up, but always canceled it because I just assumed that I couldn't afford it. And I heard somebody say something like, you know, just pencil out, just put it on paper and figure out like what you spend on your normal meals. And so I did that. And, you know, I was meal prepping this whole time. So I was meal prepping my breakfast and my lunch. And I sat down and wrote out how much I was spending on my breakfast food. And it actually ended up coming out more than Shakeology cost me every day with my coach discount. So that was a no-brainer. And it was like one of those moments where you're like, you look back and you're like, hello, like, of course, because it kickstarts my nutrition again, you know, when I was kind of like falling off the wagon from post-divorce. And it saves me time. I don't have to meal prep my breakfast. And it's so good for me. And it makes me feel amazing. So I'm a firm believer now, like I'm never going back. Anyway, so that's kind of how my journey went. The last year and few months have been like just the most amazing thing that I can ever, like, that I've ever experienced. I constantly felt throughout my entire life until I became a coach and started pouring into it and doing what my coach told me to do and meeting all of these people in this community. Until then, I was like, I know something's missing, but I don't know what it is. And it's the most frustrating thing ever to know that you're not living the life that was intended for you. You know, you're not meeting your full potential. You know there's something missing. You don't know what it is. It's really frustrating. But what I do know is I have never met like the amount of people in this community that are so like-minded, who support each other, who are literally in the business of helping other people. And it's not just helping other people lose weight and, you know, eat right. It's other people helping other people build businesses that is going to give them financial freedom, and it's going to, you know, create less stress in their families' lives, and it's going to give them the option to maybe quit their job or switch careers or go back to school or whatever it is. And it's just like, it's just amazing to me. So like when I'm kind of falling off my health goals, I plug into this community. When I'm feeling like, am I built for this business? Is this meant for me? I plug into this community and I get all the inspiration, and I get laughter, and these people are real. Like, that's, I think, my favorite thing about the Beachbody community is that, like, you are going to see people show up with no makeup and messy bun, and they're going to be a hot mess. But guess what? They're going to show up on that team call and they are going to rock it. Like, it's just amazing. And just all the cool things that we get to do. We get to be inventive and have like virtual workout parties and all that. And I can't even begin to describe to you like where I would be mindset wise right now if like with this pandemic going on, if I was anywhere else than I was. Like if I was still married, I would be drowning in fear. And if I was, and probably kind of unhappy, really unhappy, I would be freaking out about my finances and my job security. But I know that there's opportunity down the road for me. So I'm super excited. I guess I'll just wrap up with saying that this opportunity, this business opportunity, has given me hope that I will be able to take my kids to Disneyland one day and I won't have to go into debt over it. And so I'll be I'll be financially free and have some freedom to change my career. And it's given me that belief that I never knew how to get, but I always craved. So it's just amazing. I can't even tell you. But I'm gonna shut up now because I think I'm over my time.
It's okay. They all thought I was gonna go over my time, and they all both went over their time. So now I got to get under 10 minutes just so I can prove them wrong.
Well, yeah, I'm timing you, Kelly. So
okay,
just
I have a timer out for myself. Thank you very much. So anyway, first I want to say thank you to Kisa and Lisa, and I didn't know their names were going to rhyme, but they do. And I should have gone first because I don't really want to follow them now. And I don't know why I'm so nervous. I feel like I tell my story every day or bits of it on social media and to people. I'm an open book. I am an oversharer. And so if you follow me on social or you see what I post, don't think that you have to be as open and as I am. Everybody gets to decide, what they choose to share and post about. And I just, I truly believe that I have been through so much in my life, and I've learned so many lessons that this is my way of helping people either not do the things that I did, or if they're in that position, to help them through it like I got through it. And so that I just wanted to say that up front, but that's part of my story, but not my story. So I've been a coach the longest out of the three of us. I began in February of 2014, so just over 6 years ago, I signed up to be a coach. And I won't lie and tell you, I was a completely different person 6 years ago. And I was divorced. I was a single mom. She was 6 years. She was like one and a half. My daughter was, and I was living in an apartment, my two bedroom apartment that I, rented on my own. I was so proud of myself. And I had gotten out of we were only married for 3 years, but we were together for almost 10 years, a very emotionally and verbally abusive relationship. I basically didn't believe I was worth a darn. I have suffered from anxiety and depression most of my life. And then the anxiety came in like early adulthood. And I just was a shell of a person. And when I had my daughter was when I realized, the first time I realized that it wasn't just about me anymore, my happiness and my life. It was this little child. And not to get into the nitty gritty of my divorce, but when I was a single mom, never thought in a million years I would be a single mom I left my husband with a 7-month-old baby. Wasn't the plan for my life, but I do remember, and I can't remember if it was after she was born or if it was before, but I remember after having an argument with my husband at the time, I was just like, holy shit, this is it. Like, this is my life. Like, I never, raised Christian. I wasn't going to get divorced. This was it. Like, this was the man I married. This was, I guess, what I was supposed to do. And I was going to live a mediocre life. And that was the life I was given. And it was a very depressing thought, and it was miserable. And it must've been before I had my daughter, because that's when my mind shifted after I had my daughter. So I was a single mom. I was living on one paycheck. I had a great job as a high school counselor. I loved what I did, but there was way more month at the end of the money. I couldn't do anything extra. I couldn't go to happy hour. I remember I'd have to invite people over to my apartment because I couldn't afford to do anything. And it was really, really depressing. It was really I felt shameful because I'd gone to grad school, I had a master's degree, I had a really good job, and I still couldn't afford the extra luxuries in life. And so that didn't help my self-esteem either. And so I strictly went into this business when I had the opportunity to sign up as a coach to earn an additional income. And so I could have the extras, I could go shopping, I could get my nails done, and just not feel strapped and stressed every single month. And I never necessarily thought I would quit my job. Again, I loved my job. I wasn't trying to make millions of dollars and leave my career and work from home and full time and things like that. I just needed an extra income. And fortunately, I had early success. People saw what I was doing and joined me. I hit the first rank in the business within a couple weeks. I was earning paychecks almost immediately. And I was like, wow, this is great. This is awesome. Like, I can do this. And then the problem is that I was just going through the motions and doing what my uplines, they're called uplines, our mentors, told me to do in terms of the business, but I wasn't doing anything in terms of taking care of me. And so after a little bit of time, my business really stalled out, and the people that I would attract to the business or to be customers of mine didn't do anything. Like, they would show up, they would buy from me, they weren't getting results, they weren't, earning any money in the business. And I was like, what is going on? Like, why can't I have why isn't anybody being successful? What am I doing wrong? And it was because I was trying to help other people without helping myself. And it wasn't until I actually started working out every day. I mean, I was like that person that, don't, this is like before IG stories. And so you would just post and stuff. It was like, oh, well, I'm drinking alcohol, but I'm not going to post that because I'm supposed to be on this 21-day fix program. And that's not a part of it. Like, I was lying. Like, I was literally lying and just like telling everybody else to do that. And then I wasn't doing it. And I'd be like, oh, I come home from work and be like, oh my God, I don't want to work out. I'm not going to, like, I won't tell anybody, but you guys all need to be doing your workout. And it was like, so not only was I not getting any results, but nobody else in my challenge group were my coaches weren't. They would sign up and then they would quit because I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't being the model or the mentor for them to model after. And so when my business really changed and my life really changed is when I started implementing the things that Team Beachbody has implemented for not only coaches, but for customers. I mean, we talk about, our number one job is to take care of ourselves, whether you're a coach or a customer. But it was the first time in my life that a job said to me, you need to take care of you first. I'm an educator. The only thing we ever talked about was professional development, not personal development. You have to be a better counselor. You have to be a better educator. You have to be a better this, but what about me? And so if I'm not a good human, if I'm not healthy mentally, financial, or, spiritually, whatever, I cannot be a good counselor. I cannot be a good wife. I cannot be a good mother. And my team name, Team Fit to Love, actually came from that, is that if I'm not fit to love myself, like if I don't love myself and I'm not mentally fit, I'm not going to be physically fit or mentally fit if I don't start to love myself. And it was a long, hard process, which is why I've been a coach for 6 years, and it's really been the last 2 years that I've seen significant growth, not only in myself, but in my team, because I stopped talking the talk and I walked the walk, and I showed up for myself first. And then I showed up for my customers and I showed up for my team. And the changes that were happening in myself that people noticed. I was once told by my ex-mother-in-law that I was so negative. And I feel like I've told Susie this, and I feel like I've told people, and they're like, oh, you're lying. Like, I was so negative. Like, she literally needed to take a break from being around me. Like, she could not, like, need to take a break from you. And I was like, bitch, like, what the, like, whatever, okay. And then I had to, like, I didn't agree with her at the time. It didn't dawn on me till years later. I was like, oh my gosh, she was so right. Like, how, because I see those people like I was now, or like I was back then. I'm like, oh my God, they're so great. Like, who wants to be around them? And now I don't attract those people. I attract people like Kisa, like Lisa, like, God, it's so funny when their names rhyme. But I attract those people because that's the energy that I now put out. I mean, it's incredible. It is incredible. And so I signed up for this business to earn an income, and I've done that. But the biggest thing that I didn't know was going to happen is that it would literally change my life from the inside out. I mean, I remember going to a conference and I bawling when they're asking, because I truly didn't believe that I was a good person. I forgot to my squirrel. I forgot. I truly didn't believe that I was a good person. Like, I thought my life was shit because I was a horrible person, and I had done something so horrific in my life that, like, this was just the life I was meant to live. And I played the victim for so long and relinquished control of what I had control over. And so I do have to say that, you know, the vital behaviors, as we call them in Beachbody, the personal development, the, you know, waking every day with a routine and creating healthy habits and lifestyle, it's not just fitness and nutrition. How am I doing, Kisa? It's not just fitness and nutrition. It is, she's like, I don't know. It is so much more than that. And like Kisa touched on, this community, and I had a lot of really good girlfriends. And what's funny is some of my bestest friends are not my coaches. They're not on my team. They do the programs. They like the products. They have not joined me. And which is fine. Like, everybody has their reasons and whatever. But now my bigger best friend community are people I never even knew existed in this world. Kisa and I literally speak every single day. And I didn't know this woman existed 2 years ago. I mean, we traveled and spent a week in a little tiny cruise room, and we didn't kill each other. And like, I mean, like, it's not like I grew up with her. It's not like, I mean, it's incredible, the relationships. I always said if I wasn't successful in this business for, like, financially, I was like, I will never leave. I will never go anywhere because of the relationships and the community and the goodness that every day we are striving for, to be a better human and a better person, and bring that to other people, and share that with other people. And that's why I feel like I'm got off on a little tangent, but especially now, and we believed this, and this is why, like, I don't want it to feel icky that we're talking about this now, and when things are so hard, but this is what we've been sharing for forever. And like Lisa said, like, I don't know, and I shared this with them today, like, if I were 10 years ago when I was married to my ex-husband, that's okay. If I were married to my ex-husband and living in the horrificness that was my life, I'm scared to think of what could have happened with everything that's going on. And believe me, I'm not saying that this is easy by any means, and that I've got it all figured out, and I have my bad days. Today was a really good day, and so I was super stoked about that. But I know that these daily habits, and I'm not just talking about fitness and nutrition, I'm talking about everything: my mental health, my spiritual health, my relationships with my husband and my child, and that I want to do better every single day. Like, that is all because of the opportunity and the choice that I made 6 years ago to be a coach. And you can all think that's hooey and whatever, but I completely believe that, like, wholeheartedly. And I do feel like I am finally at a place where I have confidence. I mean, you know, even though I said I was nervous and I because I'm excited, and I do feel like I am a confident, I'm a leader. I feel like people are attracted to me because of this vibe. I'm real, I'm authentic, and I don't have to be afraid to be myself anymore. I think Beachbody has really given that to me, where I don't have to feel like that chameleon and sponge to the people that do things that I don't want because of what somebody else will think or feel. And I'm so excited for my life, even with everything that is going on. Because I feel that I am in control of how I respond to life's happenings, what's going on. And I have the community when I cannot function well. Like, it's funny, like where I text with my friends, and thank God we're all not having a bad day on the same day. So because of this community, we can text, and it's like, I'm having a really shit day. And it's like, I'm not, remember this, and and then the next day, she's having or somebody else is having a shit day, and I'm not, and it's like, and if I didn't have those people, if I didn't have that community, those people to lift me up, and to also be a lifter upper of the people when they need it, I don't know. I don't know where I would be. And so, I truly believe in what this opportunity has done for me and what it can do for anybody. And that's why we're here, to share it with you guys, and bring hope in a really, really trying time. So I'm sweating, like I'm literally like, I don't know why I put this coat on to do this. It's like in my fur coat. So what we're gonna do now is I want to thank you again for joining, and I want to check that. I'm going to unshare my screen so that we can check the chat box. Wait, how do I do that?
Yeah, you want me to, it looks like there's a couple questions here. So this first one, I have a hard time being a saleswoman. What are some tips you can give us to help sell Beachbody and get commitments to join our team? So, okay.
Do you want me to answer that?
Kelly, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So, and I didn't see the question, so what was the question again?
So I have a hard time being a saleswoman. What are some tips that you can give us to help sell Beachbody and get commitments to join our team?
Okay. So that's a great question, because I am not a business person. I am not a salesperson. Like I said, I was a school counselor, and I was like, I don't like those icky people that try to sell me and all that. And what I will say is, yes, we do have products to sell. I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to lie to you and say we don't sell. That's like, we do. We sell shit for money. Like, we don't. I mean, Beachbody has the stuff. But what we do is we connect people with those products, the solution that we have. Now, I'm going to be, like I said, I'm always real. Like, this solution is not for everyone. Like, I will tell you, like, there's, how many times people tell me that I cannot work out at home. I just can't. I'm like, that's great. Like, I was one of those people too. As long as you're moving your body, you're taking care of yourself, your self-care and putting yourself first and doing all the things, more power to you. The solution for me was when I was divorced, couldn't afford my gym membership or the daycare at the gym. I didn't want to leave my daughter because I was already splitting custody. And this solution worked for me at that time. And I've never looked back. Now I'm like, I don't want to go to the gym. Like, I have to put clothes on and leave and shoot, like all that stuff. I have to put a shirt on. And so we have a solution. It's not the only solution. And so what I do as a coach, and what we encourage coaches to do, is share your story. We're not selling our story. We're sharing authentically how it's helped us, how it's changed our life, how we use it in our current situation. And that's what draws people. If it's something that relates to somebody, like, especially right now, when everybody's having to work out from home, they don't want to lose their healthy habits. They don't want to stop sweating and doing all that, but they can't go to a gym. So this is now a solution that might work for them. And depending on what happens in your life and things that change, our solution can fix that. And so, yes, we do sell products. Yes, we do connect people to products, but I truly believe it's the manner in which we share what we're doing and how it has changed our lives. So that's what I would say.
And I would also add, like, I don't know if you guys know this, but doing personal development is one of, like, the 4 things that Beachbody emphasizes and tells us to do every day. And the reason is because you're not selling the Shakeology bag. You are drinking Shakeology every day, and you're taking enough time to realize how it is affecting you, throughout your day. Is it curbing your sugar cravings? Is it, kickstarting your nutrition, like makes you want to eat healthier during the day? Like paying attention to those things that happen to you authentically and naturally as you use the products and sharing them is what you're doing. You're not selling them, you're sharing. And that's exactly what Kelly just said. So, and I totally agree with the changing of the season, because, somebody who is adamant about going to the gym, that works for them right now, but you never know what's going to happen to them later in life. Like they might be single right now and they want to get out of the house, right? But then 2 years from now, they might have 2 young kids and they can't go anywhere. That was me. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so there's one more question. What if you don't have a transformation story? And I feel like this might be alluding to, like, what if you're super small naturally and you don't have, this big like weight loss transformation? Or potentially maybe it's asking, what if you are just starting your journey and you have a lot of weight to lose, and you don't have that before and after picture yet? I don't know, Kisa, are you?
Yeah, I'll allude to that. I may have had to.
She doesn't drink for a month, so we're just
allude. Give me a break. I gave up alcohol for March, you guys. I survived March with no alcohol. Can you believe that? Okay. So I don't really have a huge physical transformation story. And so a lot of times I do hear people say, I need a transformation picture first so people can take me seriously. And I say no, because people want to see you at your beginning, where you're starting. And you don't have to have I don't have a transformation story. I have one that I got, I want to say at the end of last year, where I let my nutrition kind of get out of control. And I took a before photo and then an after photo, and I was like, well, I finally have a transformation story. That was literally months ago. You start where you're at. People want to see you where you're at and see that they can do it too. Because if you, it's just sharing your story. And if you wait for the transformation, you're not bringing people along with you to do it with you at the same time. And so I think that is the biggest thing that connects people is you're like, hey, I'm going to do this. You want to do this with me? I have no idea if it's going to work, but it's worth giving it a shot. I'm going to go all in. It's just about changing those habits, and those habits are really hard to change on your own. And so it's so much easier when you have a community to lean in. And so I don't really have a transformation story, but I'll give you an example. I was a workout after work kind of girl. Go to work, workout after work. That was my thing. I was like, I'm not a morning person. No way can I get up earlier in the morning. Not going to happen. But then I decided, okay, you know what? I want my evenings free to be able to work on this business. So that means I have to switch something. I'm going to start getting up at 4 a.m. And I leaned into my tribe and said, hey, you guys, I'm going to start getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning. Does anybody want to do it with me? And I seriously thought I was going to get nobody. You guys, we have a giant group that's called the Sunrise Squad, that every morning we wake up, we check into the group, good morning, and then we do our workouts, and then we check. It is bringing somebody along with you as you start that habit, as you start that new journey. So you don't need a transformation story. I would actually encourage you to invite people when you are starting, because that gives that connection for other people.
I want to add something really fast because Kisa doesn't have that physical transformation story. And there's a lot of people that are like that. And there's a lot of people that are not like that. And I did have a transformation story 2 years ago, and mine is definitely more of a mental transformation as well, but also a physical one. And I was a yo-yo dieter and a yo-yo, didn't know how to eat and all that. The thing is that I remember when I posted one day that I had to do push-ups on my knees, and I had to, modify my push-ups, and somebody was like, "Are you serious? Like I remember they messaged me like, "You modified push-ups?" And this is like recently, so like, definitely I'm in a better shape than I was years ago and things and I go, yeah, like I have to modify, I have to take breaks, I have to. And they were like, I had no idea. And it's like, you don't, the reason why we want to show that we're real and that we're starting from scratch, and that is because once we're done and you've had that transformation and it's like, oh, I lost all this weight and look at my difference and blah, blah, blah. But they need to see the struggle, because they don't know the struggle and what you went through to get to that place. People want the quick fix. They want I want to show up in 6 weeks. When you see those transformation photos from the people in test groups for programs, yeah, they're following a strict plan. When you're in a test group, nutrition plan, the workouts, you can't, like all of this stuff. That's why they get results so significantly in a short amount of time. Real life is not that way. And, for the majority of people. So when you start and you show up and you say, I am committed to this program, I'm committed to myself, and I'm committed to making daily changes to my habits and things in my life. It's not going to happen overnight, but I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to quit on you. You're not going to quit on yourself. And we're going to do this together. When it gets hard, we're going to do this together. When it's easy and you feel like you're having a great day and you're seeing those successes, you're going to do it together. And so like most of my coaches on my team, they didn't start after they got a transformation. They started coaching either right when they signed up to join, or maybe for the discount. But when they started actively coaching and sharing their stories was when they fell in love with the community, the products, and how their life was changing. Not because they lost 50 pounds, not because they lost 10 pounds or 5 pounds or even a pound. It was because they loved what this community and what this lifestyle change had done for them. And so I just want to make that really clear. There is no beach body. Everybody goes, I don't have a beach body. Nope, you do actually. You take your body to a beach, not right now, and you have a beach body. And and I used to believe that myself. That was one of my things. It's like, I'm not fit. I don't look like them. Like, I can't do this. And that's bullshit. It's not about how many muscles you have. It's not about what you weigh. It's not about, now I'm going to get all, it's not about the number on the scale. It's about how you feel up here, about the daily things that you are doing to better your life, your happiness, and your health. And so I don't know, unless there's any other questions, maybe I don't know if the other ladies want to say anything before we jump off.
I would just have to say that the struggle is what people relate to. It is truly what they relate to. It's progress. It's not perfection. And people want to know that you struggle too. Like, it's not easy. So you don't have to feel like you have to show up and everything's perfect and you only show your healthy meals. And like Kelly said, you can't show that you're drinking or whatever, because there's this huge misconception that you have to be perfect and have the perfect body in order for people to want to join you. And that's not the case, because people want to connect with real, and they do want to see the struggle, because it is a struggle for them as well. Like, nobody's perfect in this game. So
absolutely, I agree. And I think that's what I love so much too, is like, even though I might be feeling like I can't, like, am I cut out for this business? And, I just ditched my nutrition habits for the last 3 days and, drank 2 bottles of wine on my own. And then it's like, because I know that I've seen so many coaches show up and be real with that I'm like, okay, it doesn't mean that I'm failing. It just means I'm human. We're going to get back to those better habits because we want to feel good. So I totally agree.
And if you have questions, you can unmute yourself if you don't want to chat, or what I do want to say before we end, and we're going to get better on our timing. We wanted to be under an hour and we were just under that, but we wanted to be even shorter than that. But if if you have more questions, if you still want to talk about it, I'm sure your coach that invited you will be reaching out to you to talk about it and see, where you're at. And we are just so, so, so grateful for you hopping on. This is the first time we've done an event like this. And so we really appreciate it. It gives us great practice, and we hope you enjoyed it somewhat. Anything else, ladies?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, well, have a wonderful night. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay 6 feet apart. Oh, wait, what? What?
Wait,
What?
did somebody get a picture? And is somebody, let's do a virtual cheers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me get one.
My cup is empty.
I know, my it's okay. Just
You
pretend.
guys are not pros. You need to bring the bottle next to your glass.
Does water count?
Yes, you should be drinking your water. You won't have a hangover tomorrow.
1, 2, 3. Oh, I forgot to say cheers.
Cheers. I think 3 counts as cheers.
That does, it does.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Oh, stop recording.